ha ha, ho ho ho, and a couple of tra-la-las. That's how we laugh a day away in the merry old land of Oz.
Hey, what's up, Funkheads? Emerald City Comic Con is just a few weeks away now, and all of the new Funko exclusives have been revealed. And Washington is Funko's home state, so they sometimes save some of the best pops of the year for Emerald City Comic Con, which takes place in Seattle. So there are some good ones. Some that I definitely must have, some not so much. The Emerald City Comic Con is the smallest of like the major cons where Funko sends a lot of exclusives. San Diego being the biggest, New York being the second, and Emerald City Comic Con being the smaller little sister of those. So there's not going to be like 50 or 80 reveals. Nothing crazy like that, but still some very good exclusives. And also, since it's Emerald City, they focus a lot around the color green. Not all of them, but you will see a large amount of green pops. They started out pretty strong with Marvel because we're going to get a classic Thor, which I personally think looks amazing. It looks like they used some metallic paint on that helmet and some for the hammer and his actual chest piece there. It looks really good. I like how his cape is flowing, his hair is flowing. They got classic Thor perfect. And Thor is going to be shared with GameStop, which I like, should it make this too hard to get. And also Korath in his Star Force suit. He was also in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he had some cybernetic pieces on his head, so maybe he really gets injured in this one. Maybe they don't address that, who knows. I have a feeling he's just going to be a very tiny character again. But Korath, I probably won't get this one, but he'll be shared with Hot Topic, which should make him easy to get. There's only one item for Harry Potter, but it is a doozy. It's the Weasley siblings dressed up in their Irish pride stuff for the Quidditch World Cup, and it looks amazing. I'm not even a Harry Potter collector. I only have a Harry Potter on broom, and I think that's it. But I might have to just pick this up because I really love the idea behind this. And even though it's a short little scene where they're actually wearing this stuff, it's very memorable, and I think these pops look great. They're going to be shared with Barnes & Noble, which has an awful website. I don't recommend ordering from them when they have a release like this because it always crashes or they charge your card and your order doesn't go through. It's very strange. I recommend actually going to Barnes & Noble early, lining up, and hopefully by the time it's returned, they still have some. In my experience though, the Harry Potter exclusives are very plentiful, so it shouldn't be too hard to get when you go to the store. Also, only one from Game of Thrones. It's Arya Stark, a little bit more grown up, holding Needle. I think it's a definite improvement over the original Arya Stark, and I'm probably going to get this one. She's shared with Box Lunch, which is a sister company to Hot Topic, so she should be pretty easy to get online the day before the con. 2 video game pops this time. The first one is Sombra from Overwatch in her green glitch skin. It looks pretty good. I think the original common Sombra looks the best. Not sure about the accuracy or anything, but I think it would have been cooler if those translucent pieces on her fingers were also green. But overall, this pop looks pretty good. This is an Amazon exclusive, so it might be a little tricky. Sometimes Amazon puts their exclusives up like 2 weeks before the con and they sell out. It's very strange. They don't ever seem to get it just right, like just to release it the day before like everybody else. And their shipping can be hit or miss, whether you're going to get a damaged box or not. So good luck if you want that one. And from Gears of War, there's General Ram, I believe you say that. I never played Gears of War. I personally feel that the Gears of War designs didn't really translate over into pop form very well. They look pretty ugly to me. And I didn't realize Gears of War was still a thing, like enough to have pops. But here's General Ram, and he's going to be at GameStop. 2 anime reveals. The first one from Dragon Ball Z is a 6-inch Porunga. And this guy does look pretty awesome. I don't know anything about him, but judging from the past, he's going to be very popular. All the Dragon Ball Z exclusives are very popular. And even though this guy is shared with Hot Topic, it still might be a little difficult to get him because in the past, the 6-inch pops aren't as plentiful as the regular size pops. They might get 6 of these in stores. If that, sometimes they only get 2 or 4. I guess it just depends on how busy your store is. And if you're able to order him online, just know that sometimes 6-inch pops don't travel very well over the mail and they do get damaged. And this guy looks like he's heavy. So I definitely recommend trying to pick up 6-inch pops in store. But if you can't, he shouldn't be too hard to get online the day before the con. And from Fairy Tail, this is Gajeel, I think you say his name. He's got a pretty cool metallic paint job on him. That's a very pretty color of blue. Don't know anything about the character, so I'm not sure if this is accurate or not. But it does look pretty cool, and he's available at GameStop. Their website is pretty decent, by the way, like if you're going to order this guy the night before because you can't make it to GameStop. And their shipping is pretty decent as well, so getting this guy in store or online shouldn't be too big of a deal. Next up is a DC wave, which is one of the bigger waves of ECCC this year. And first up, it's Mr. Mixuplix, or Mixuplix. I think part of the point of his name is that you're not supposed to be able to say it. He's truly one of the most bizarre characters in comics. I believe he would be pretty impossible to put into a movie. I mean, just look at his design. His design is silly. His powers are ridiculous. He's extremely, extremely powerful. I definitely recommend going to check out his Wikipedia page to find out more about him. It is kind of interesting. And yeah, it's just one of those things that could probably only work in the comics. But he's getting a pop. It looks pretty cool. He's shared with Entertainment Earth. I actually don't have any experience ordering con exclusives from Entertainment Earth, so I'm not sure how well their website holds up to heavy traffic, how long their shipping takes with the con exclusives, but they're a pretty decent place to order from. And they're also making a classic Black Canary. I honestly think she looks like a working girl in some like crappy Lake Tahoe casino, but she is pretty accurate to the classic Black Canary look. Unfortunately for DC fans, she's going to be shared with Walgreens, so they probably won't get her in store. They never do. So you're going to have to order this one online. Who knows when they'll put it online? I'm pretty sure it won't be at the same time as all the other stores. It'll just be randomly during the day of the con, maybe a week after the con, a week before. Who knows with them? And their shipping sucks. So if you care about perfect boxes, you're going to have to get lucky with this one. There's also going to be a 5-star Batman figure. Comes with a bat symbol there, holding one of these bat grappling hooks. I'm not a big fan of them. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know why they would make another figure line that has a big head. This seems like a company that's not Funko trying to make figures that kind of look like Funko Pops. It looks like they're trying to bite Funko's market, right? But it's Funko themselves making it. Not sure what the point of these is, really. And lastly, it's the DC Bombshells version of Starfire, which looks great. Really liking that sculpt on her. Still not a big fan of how they changed the rock candy boxes. Yeah, the packaging is important to me, and I do like my figures to be all in uniform boxes. Still something that irks me about them changing the rock candy boxes, but this Starfire figure looks really good. There's going to be another Pillsbury Doughboy. The only difference is that he's holding one of the Shamrock cookies, which I remember having before and liking. They're just basically sugar cookies with a little design on them. They make several different ones, but I do clearly remember the Shamrock ones. So it's not something Funko made up just to make it look like an ECCC pop. That is a real thing. I wasn't able to get a Doughboy before, so I'm definitely going to try to get this one. He's shared with the Funko shop. Ad icons are extremely popular, so I believe this is going to be the one that sells the fastest from the Funko shop. But you never know. They could just make a ton of these guys. We'll just have to wait and see. One guy they're not making a ton of, though, is the green lime-flavored Sour Patch Kid. They are only making 1,000 of these guys. So if you keep up with your pops, they released the Sour Patch Kids, I don't know, like a month or so ago. And there was all the colors but green. And of course, everybody knew that the green one was going to come out on ECCC. It only makes sense. But what Funko did was really stick it to everybody that wanted to complete this set, because at only 1,000, he's going to be one of the hardest ones to get, because you'll only be able to get him at the Comic-Con. And to even have a chance to get him, you would have had to win the lottery to be able to access the Funko shop store. And hopefully you get there early enough to get him before he sells out. Going to be nearly impossible. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be able to complete their sets. Sucks for them. I think the Sour Patch Kid Pops did turn out pretty good. I would have liked it better if their eyes were just the same color as the body. I think it's one of those instances where Funko shouldn't have made the eyes black, but they still look pretty decent. I saw a couple of them in person the other day. I almost wanted to get the blue one because the blue one was my favorite, and I would like to have at least one. But yeah, for you guys trying to complete the set, I feel like this one's going to be a couple $100 at least off of eBay if you really, really need to complete this set. There's also going to be a Funko skateboard with a picture from the Big Lebowski on it. If you have like a movie room or a movie theater, it'd be something kind of cool to hang on the wall. That's going to be shared with FYE. From the television wave, we're going to get a shirtless Jaguar. And by them specifying that it's shirtless makes me feel there's going to be another Jaguar released with his full combat attire on. Maybe not, it's just a hunch. But I do feel there's going to be another Jaguar, which might even be cooler looking than this one. And that's why they made this one an exclusive. I guess we'll have to wait and see. He's going to be available at Hot Topic. So online or in store should be pretty easy. There's going to be a Green Ranger Funkos. I don't know why I thought there was already Green Ranger Funkos out there. I guess they've made so many cereals now that I've kind of lost track. But yeah, Green Ranger Funkos available at FYE. And also available at FYE is a Diamond Collection Carmen Sandiego. And the Diamond Collection ones are basically just glittery versions of the common Funko Pops. If you're really into glitter, I guess these are cool. They just don't look like actual official releases. They do look like somebody made a custom and put glitter on a common pop. In the past, I've ordered from FYE the night before the cons, and it's been pretty easy to get it from them, and their shipping is pretty decent, so she shouldn't be too hard to get if you don't have an FYE near you. The movie wave by far was my favorite one, starting with this Michael Bolton and Samir versus that crappy printer from work that never seems to work. Really a funny scene. It was a smart idea to make them a 2-pack like this, so they can include the printer. Sometimes the 2-packs don't make too much sense to me, but in this case it does, and it makes it worth the 2-pack. I really like the way they did Michael Bolton's hair. Like, they really made it look like the guy. The only thing I would have liked better though is if Samir was actually doing that axe kick that he does. That would have been funny. Like, it looks like he's just kicking normally here, but if they would have had him doing that axe kick, it would have been hilarious. Unfortunately, this one is shared with Target, so it's just hit or miss, man. I think it just depends on the employees at your local Target, because I do feel like sometimes they have the pops in the back and then just go, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, or they hoard them themselves, or they're just not prepared and they don't have them on time. It just depends. I mean, some Targets are great, and then some Targets are horrible. Like, I'll talk to people and go, yeah, man, there was no problem getting the pops at my Target. And then some people, it's just an exercise in frustration. And also, Grishnek? Not sure how to say that. I definitely remember this orc though from the movies, and he looks pretty good. He's going to be at Barnes & Noble. So like I said earlier, avoid the website. Actually go to Barnes & Noble to try to get him. Definitely one I'm going to try to get to put right next to my Lurtz pop that looks amazing. Glad they're making more orcs. And this right here is my number one want from ECCC this year. It's Steve Zissou from The Life Aquatic. One of my favorite Wes Anderson movies, one of my favorite movies in general. I really like how he's holding the Belafonte. I hope that this one sells really, really well, so they make more Steve Zissou pops, because it's an amazingly beautiful movie. It's funny, and this pop looks really, really good. I love the sculpt on the beanie, and I really want to see it up close to see how detailed that Belafonte is. I like how he's wearing the Adidas that was specially made for Steve Zissou. Just love this pop. He's going to be on the Funko shop. Hard to tell how popular this character will be. A lot of people I know haven't even seen The Life Aquatic, so it's hard to gauge how many Funko will actually make of this guy and whether he'll be hard to get or not. But definitely my number one want. And finally, you get a couple of vinyls from The Wizard of Oz. It's the Cowardly Lion and the Tin Man. I know some people really like the vinyls. I haven't gotten into them too much. Similar to what I said before, it's just another collectible that's got a very big head with a small body. It kind of looks like it's a company that's not Funko trying to be Funko. Not sure what the point is in making more collectibles that are so similar to Funko Pops. I mean, might as well just make Funko Pops. I don't know. I guess they're trying to diversify, but if you're a fan of the vinyls, there's a couple more for you to add to your collection. These will be available at Barnes & Noble. There's a couple of really great items in the Disney wave, and I feel like the Hyena 3-pack from The Lion King is going to be one of the most popular items at the con. They look really good. I'm still not sure if I'm going to get them or not, because I imagine they're going to be like $45, $50, because it's a 3-pack. It is shared with Amazon, so you're going to have to order this guy online. Hopefully it comes in a sorter built for this 3-pack, because if it's up to Amazon shipping, the chances of this getting to you in mint condition is low, unless it's in some kind of sorter. And even then, Amazon isn't the greatest for mint boxes if you care about that. So, you really got to think about, do I really want to drop $45 on this with the odds against me that I'll even get a mint condition collectible? Who knows? It's a little bit of a gamble. But this is an amazing set, so good luck. They're making a Huey, Dewey, and Louie 3-pack of the action figures. I think the action figures are my least favorite thing that Funko does, so this is a big pass from me. These will be available at Target. And lastly, we get Void from Incredibles 2, and I'm definitely going to try to get this one. I really like the way they did her powers. They could have just stopped at her powers being on her hands, but they actually made that circular void around her. It looks really good. I love the shades of blue they picked. This pop looks really great. Unfortunately, it's shared with Walmart, who has probably some of the worst shipping methods of any company when it comes to Funko Pops. I've never really ordered anything from them, and it's come in mint condition. They're horrible, and they probably won't get it in the store on con day either. And if you ask the employees, they won't know what you're talking about. Very annoying, very frustrating. I hate when things are shared with Walmart, because this is an amazing pop. Hopefully they make a lot of them, because I feel like I'm going to have to end up getting it on the secondhand market, because she does look pretty amazing. They're making 3 new Pez for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. They're making Scott, Ramona, and Knives. I really like the look of the Ramona one. Scott looks pretty plain. I don't know if I'd be able to tell that was Scott outside of the package. but Knives and Ramona are pretty recognizable. These are shared with the Funko shop, so I imagine that you have to buy all 3 as a bundle. I really doubt they're going to put them up for individual sale. So if you really want that Ramona, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to buy all 3. Probably going to be around 30-35 bucks. And they're also making another version of Ramona with the blue hair and the giant hammer. This is a must-have for me. She's also being shared with the Funko shop. She's not numbered, thank goodness, because in the past, Funko has made it very, very difficult to be a Scott Pilgrim versus the World fan. A lot of the characters are numbered. They're very rare. The commons get vaulted very fast. Luckily, I do have several of them that I got at retail price because even the commons are expensive now. And I hope this is another one I'll be able to add. She'll look great with my pink-haired version of Ramona. So yeah, I'm hoping that most of the things I want, I'll be able to get online the day before the con, because usually the Funko shop goes up in the morning of the first day of the con. And they've been kind of putting all the releases on there at the same time instead of just one at a time throughout the day like they have before. And it's usually at the same time that a lot of stores open. So you kind of have to make a choice going, do I want to be waiting in line at Barnes & Noble and attempting to get these pops through my phone with shitty service? Or do I want to stay by my laptop to get these Funko Shop exclusives? The choice is easy if you're able to get the stuff online the day before, but that's not always the case. And the last wave is the original Funko characters. And we're getting a couple of Freddies. First one is him with brown pants holding the fish. And this one is limited to, I believe, 1,000 pieces. So he's only going to be available at the con. And there's also a yellow pants version where the fish is a little bit more blue. And he's going to be shared with the Funko shop. I do think the one with the brown pants looks way better. I think the coloring on the fish is cooler. But they're both, pretty similar. And I think I am going to try to get the one with the yellow pants from the Funko shop. Because isn't Seattle where all the tourists go and they'll watch the fishmongers throw these giant fish around to each other, right? Like somebody orders a fish or something and one fishmonger picks up a big ass fish and tosses it like 50 yards to the other one, and all the tourists like to go watch and take pictures. I think that's Seattle. So I'm guessing that's where this is inspired from. I kind of like that idea. I haven't got a Freddie in a long time. This one looks pretty unique. So gonna try to get this one as well. And finally, there's a color variant of Fin Du Chomp from the Spastic Plastic line. I thought they were changing the name of Spastic Plastic to Fantastic Plastic, but on the Funko site, it still says Spastic Plastic, so not sure what's going on with that. The only difference is this one has blue skin, where the original has gray skin. I already have the original, so I'm not too worried about getting this one, and I do think the original gray looks better anyway. This guy is numbered as well, so he'll only be available at the con, but even though it's numbered and limited to 3,000, the Spastic Plastic characters aren't extremely popular with everybody. So if you need to get him on the secondhand market, I can't imagine him being more than 35-40 bucks, which is a lot for a pop, but it's not all that much if it's something you must have. Alright guys, that was all the reveals for ECCC this year. I'm happy that Funko didn't go absolutely nuts and just hit us with too much stuff. It's great when they make a lot of characters. It's great when they make a lot of variants. But it also stops the pops from going up in value, which is very important to a lot of people. Whether you care to admit it or not, it's great when your collectibles go up in value. And when they just make too many things, people can't afford to buy all of them. So they sit on shelves and it hurts value. I hope they don't go nuts with New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con this year either, because I really like the amount of stuff they decided to make for this year. I have to say that my absolute favorites, though, are going to be that classic Thor, the Weasley Irish Pride 3-pack, Steve Zissou, and Ramona Flowers. I think those all look great. Definitely going to try to get those. But yeah, overall, I think it was pretty strong. A lot of killer, not a lot of filler. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite ones are, what your least favorite ones are, what you think about them making the green Sour Patch Kid only 1,000 pieces. Did you collect the other Sour Patch Kid pops and now you're disappointed that you're not going to be able to get the green one? Or anything else you'd like to say. Thanks for watching and take it easy.